Yeah. Jones. All gas, no brakes. Putting falsehood on the facts will get your shit pushed back. Thinking ING is cap will get your shit pushed back. Oh, the homie blocker. Yo, greetings and salutations. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Hope everybody is safe. Hope everybody is feeling good, doing good. Logic Lounge, episode 11. I'm really in the double digits now. What's good, everybody? So, of course, welcome, everybody. Welcome to Logic Lounge with Fleezy Jones, episode 11. I am Fleezy Jones, and of course, as always, this is brought to you by Block Legend 7. Yo, and speaking of Block Legend 7 and ING Records LLC, yo, I gotta share something. You know, I've been doing good, man. I've been blessed. I'm approaching a year with doing this whole social media thing, period. So, for those who know me, I'm a fan of wrestling. Huge fan. Been like that for years. So, my brother Block knows that. Look what my brother Block gave me. Yo. What? 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 Yo, look at the first single. Yo. What? What up, bro? What? What? Alright. I ain't gonna even hold you, man. Bless you. Yo, again, the homie, man. It's all love here. But anyway, man, let's rock. I know, right? Let's rock with it, man. My guest tonight, what are we gonna do for number 11? My guest tonight, man, this will be his second appearance on the lounge. First appearance by itself, man. Last time we seen this guy, it was for my poetry open mic. And, I mean, he tore down the house. And when he did his thing, he literally left. And when I said he left, he disappeared. Completely. Disappeared, dipped off. I was worried. Man, he would still tap in on my YouTube. And then one day he came back. And he came back hard as ever. Reached out to your boy. We've been chatting ever since. Man, if you don't know, now you know. This man got 5 books. I got 4 of them. 1 ain't came yet. Yo, that's just 1. That's just 2. That's just 3, man. You ain't figured it out by now, man. The mysterious, the mystical, the wordsmith himself, Likwid Lizard. I'm not going to hold you, man. Let me bring him up, because going to do it with him. Un momento, people. He's on his way. Would you tell how excited we are? Me and Joker Rick.
Dude, what is up, Fleezy?
What is going on, my brother, Mr. Lizard?
Oh man, looking forward to this, man.
Man, I am too, man. It's been a kind of long time coming when I think about it, man. Since the open mic, so I'm excited. You know what I mean? I'm great. Thank you for accepting my invitation, of course. And man, I gotta say, dude. There's so much with you that in the midst of me doing my prep for the interview, I was like, you know what? We got to go in with this. Dude, you're different.
I'm a little different.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm a little different. But so are you. That's how you recognize.
Yeah, yeah.
Good.
Man, I appreciate that, dude. So, hailing from Orlando, Florida, right? Born and raised there. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
Born and
okay.
raised. Born and raised. I spent I spent my teenage years in Tennessee in the Smokey Mountains, in a little town called Dandridge, Tennessee. A couple thousand people. That's it. Just the side of a hill, basically. One stoplight in my town.
Okay.
Uh, yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah. So first of all, accolades, man. Poet, writer, all that. Man, listen. I want to dig. I want to dig deeper because, like I said, the information that you gave me, man, and you shared with me, just on the whole questionnaire portion that I send out to all my guests.
yeah.
So, 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 man, I'm gonna dig in. You were in the service, correct?
I was absolutely. I did. I was in the Navy. I was in the United States Navy, for a little while. I went to the Navy. I actually signed in. I signed up for the Navy when I was 17 years old, and I needed to have a plan by my 18th birthday, because a week after my 18th birthday, I was locked in to go see a judge, and he told me before my 18th birthday that I had two choices where I wanted to spend the next 3 years, and thought I thought the military was probably the best choice. Yeah.
In
Yeah.
that situation, I get absolutely. And you were still in Florida when this happened?
Yeah, that was. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I had moved to Tennessee until I was about 17, and then at 17 I came back to Florida. Ended up graduating at West Orange High School, which is a little town, Winter Garden here, just outside of Orlando. And got into a lot of trouble. Got into a lot of trouble. I was very aggressive, um, and finally it caught up to me, and after my sixth time of it getting caught up to me before my 18th birthday, the judge said, if you want to fight, yeah. So I chose to fight with a uniform.
Okay. Okay. Now, from that, because even with the information you shared, like you've been writing as far as poetry goes for a long time, right? I
Oh
gotta
yeah.
I gotta throw this in a little soft point you shared with me in the questionnaire where the first poem that you remember was the booger poem.
Boogers. Yeah, boogers. I wrote I was 7, 8, or 9 more boogers. We had the Apple IIe computer. Everybody went in and sat down. We had our floppy disk, and we were tasked to write a poem no matter what. So I wrote a poem. I mean, I don't remember exactly, but I remember there was a booger on my finger, and I couldn't get it off. I tried wiping it everywhere. It ended up somewhere else, and it just kept coming back to my finger. So finally at the end, I looked at the booger and thought, I know where this goes. And then I closed my eyes, leaned back my head, and shoved it back up my nose. And that was just, that was just it, just, that's all I knew about, bro. So I wrote about boogers, and the teacher loved it. The classmates loved it. And it's been rolling since then.
Yeah, yeah, and you would say you also mentioned how that kind of drifted into you would write love poems and stuff for your
Yep.
friends, for their ladies and things like that. So
Yep.
my question is, how did we get from, that just being okay, that, and it got into, hey, I'm gonna start getting into these, you know what I mean?
Well, okay, so that never. I have written I've written many things in my life. Like one of the things that really catapulted it was I was asked to write a one act play for theater. I was a thespian, and so I was asked to write a one act play. So I wrote a one act play. It's titled The Big Kingdom, and it's about a lady, a mother who fears she has cancer and finds out that she's actually pregnant with a child. But unfortunately, she had cancer, and she passes, before the birth of that child, etc. And I wrote it for in school, and it got straight superiors, and then best of show, and then they give it back to you so that it can go to the district competition, and you're supposed to edit it and all that stuff. And I don't believe in a lot of editing, so I didn't touch it. I just submitted it again for district. It won straight superiors and best of show, and then it went on to the state level, in which the panel consisted of a few people. It didn't get best of show that year. It did get superiors, but one of the people on the panel happened to work for Samuel French Incorporated, which publishes players and playwrights, and kind of helped me like see the business and how to get into the idea of trying to sell your stuff and how to market it. So then I started writing a lot of poetry, and then the online industry came out, poetry.com. And so I submitted poems, and every time I'd submit a poem, it would be released in an anthology. I mean, I had numerous anthologies I don't even know. And then when the pandemic hit, throughout my life, my uncle Bruce has always supported me and always asked me, how's your writing? And even when I said I'm not doing it a lot, he would say, why? That's what you do, right? And so then he sat me down and he said, listen, I'm going to tell you, do you want to know how to be a successful writer? I said, well, yeah. He said, it's easy. You write.
Facts.
So I wrote, and I did Instagram, and I started putting all my poetry together, and finally I had enough to do several books, and decided I didn't know anything about publishing books, and all I had was a handheld cell phone. So I went through the whole route of publishing a book. Once that copy came, I saw all the mistakes I've made, and I learned through the process of publishing my own book how to publish a book. And
That's how you
that's
see
how it
something
came.
firsthand. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that's dope, man. Thank you for those coming in, and for those just coming in. Welcome to the Logic Lounge with Fleezy Jones. It's your boy Fleezy Jones, and this is brought to you by Boom Block Legend 7. Man, we're having a sit down with the homie Likwid Lizard, man, digging in deep about, man. Listen, man, I'm gonna just say, you have a different set of skills, bro. So I'd like to know, and I'm just gonna ask it bluntly, right? What is honestly the difference between Brian and Likwid Lizard?
Um, you know, Brian is the person that mom can read. Yeah. And the Likwid Lizard is not the person that mom can read. The Likwid Lizard is created because liquid is in fluidity. Bruce Lee said you need to be like water, and it's the fluidity, and the lizard is a reference towards the ability to adapt, the adaptability. So it's fluid adaptability is basically what the Likwid Lizard is. And I only spell it Likwid, because that scored me an extra 14 points when we were playing Scrabble. Anyway, and so it just kind of came into fruition, Like, all right.
Right. Oh man. Okay. And with that, man, I also want to talk about the names, man. What I found interesting in the information you gave me, you told me you went through a few names before you got to Likwid Lizard. Can you go into depth with that with me real quick?
Absolutely, yeah. Initially when I got out of the military, even the military, they knew me as the Quicksilver Cowboy, and it was all K's, KWIK, silver, Kowboy, you know. And I was always the Quicksilver Cowboy. And then one time, one of my buddies brought up, he's like, yo, with 3Ks. And I'm like, oh, shit. Yeah. But you know what I mean? Okay, whatever. All right, 3K.
Right,
That's
right.
whatever. Who's going to know? Who's going to pay attention? And I've always had my head shaved, and I've hung out with versatile crowds, whatever. And we were at a party. We're at a bonfire. And a guy saw my spelling, Quicksilver Cowboy. And he goes, like that, went to give me that kind of thing. You know, he gave me respect for the 3Ks. And when he gave me respect for the 3Ks, I dropped the 3Ks. Like, you know, that's not, oh yeah, no. That's all right, no. But those that know me will know that that's not what I'm about. But my buddy made a good point and said, remember, there's more people in the world that don't know you. And yeah, you're right. You got, you know, you have to think about the impression that you leave, whether it's offensive, whatever. But if it seems hateful, then I say take it away. You know what I mean? So then I did icicles forming. You know, I was writing poetry with icicles forming like as in the cold tears. You know, and I was watching what's the movie? Anyway, I was watching a movie, and it's a reference towards all the different names towards an erection. You know, a boner, bopping the bishop, icicles forming. I said, no, we good, no. So I switched that. My oldest son, he and I were doing stuff, and I took on a job as a writer for the Examiner.com here, and I took on a job as the Orlando Adventure Travel Examiner. Only so that he and I could go out and do all the local activities that he was interested in doing, like canoeing and zip line courses and skydiving and parasailing, all that good stuff. So as I took that job, I just went ahead and called myself Adventure Orlando, which I still use, and then the Likwid Lizard came about.
Well, I got to say, man, thank you first and foremost, because you literally knew why I asked that. I appreciate you sharing that, because that's the reality people don't really talk about or want to talk about. And I wanted to bring light to that, because that's what hit me when I read it myself. You know what I mean? Of course, you know the questions I'm asking. I already know, so thank you for that, man. So now, let's go to an interesting fact, man. Let's talk about. I'm not going to even go. Let's leave the Mickey Mouse Club for the final.
Okay.
Dude, how this man had Emerald Lagasse, the chef, cook for him. Please give me the story of that.
All right. So that's my story. Is Emerald Lagasse cooked me a pork chop. All right, the reality of that story is one of the sets that I worked on was the Rosie O'Donnell show. I worked on the set of the Rosie O'Donnell show, and me and my buddy, we called him Gunny. He was a gunnery sergeant in the United States Marine Corps. We were standing off stage, and one of the guests to come on, Rosie used to call me Cutie Patootie every day, but one of the guests to come on the show was Emerald Lagasse, and so what they do is Emerald comes out and he puts together his pork chops, his coconut cream pie, and and shows you how to build it. And then they go to commercial break, and his assistant brings out the cart with the finished product, and brings back the prep stuff. And here they are; they have the finished product on this beautiful cart, blah blah blah, and so boom, then the curtain drops on that. And she's pushing the cart back, and me and Gunny go, "Hey, what are you doing with that?" She's like, "Oh, I got to go clean the cart." We're like, "Look, we got white glove. I mean, we can clean this cart like it's never been cleaned before." And she's like, "Really?" Like, "Yeah." She's like, "All right, when it's done, just put it over there." So we grabbed our pork chop, grabbed our coconut cream pie, we cleaned down the cart big time, pushed it over where it needed to go, went off to the green room, sat down. and ate a pork chop and a coconut cream pie cooked by Emerald Lagasse. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually even better than I expected because that's kind of probably how I would have did it as well.
Yes.
If I was on the set and I was able to have access like that.
You know, like,
So,
why wouldn't you? What? You know,
exactly.
so I'm like, but my story is Emerald Lagasse cooked for me.
Right. Hey, everybody in here, we keeping that. That is
Yeah.
our that's the
Uh,
story. We all sticking with it. So
yeah.
now, man, tell me about the Mickey Mouse Club. You had ends
Uh,
with that.
I worked for that's actually my first really entertainment job was I was working for a group called Extras Only Casting Incorporated, and we did a series which is just off of the Mickey Mouse Club. It was called Emerald Cove. It was Mickey Mouse Club / Emerald Cove, and it was filmed here locally. We did a lot of filming at Coconuts on Cocoa Beach here in Florida. Of course, here in Orlando, of course, at MGM Studios, at Michael Eisner's house, who was the owner of Disney at the time. We used to do a lot of filming. Most of the Mickey Mouse Club stuff was filmed at his house. You know, I did a couple other things too, but that was like my first like really break in. But I was kicked off the set because I went poolside and smoked a joint at Michael Eisner's house, and this is back in the '90s. They got pissed, so they kicked me off the set of that. But I didn't care. It was it was kind of worth it. Whatever. Yeah.
Now that part, y'all, I did not know that part. This guy, Liquid Lizard, man, you're
Yeah.
different, man.
Yeah.
You're definitely different.
I mean,
So now go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
I kept smoking. I mean, I finished the joint, and then I left. But go ahead. What was it?
Man, I love this dude, man. I'm trying my best to. I mean, his puns is we gonna keep it moving, man. We gonna keep it moving.
Yeah,
But man, I
John.
want to dig into the Navy part, man. When you were forced, right? And excuse me, I didn't mean to cut you, brother. Um, when you were kind of forced, given a choice, right, to either go and deal with time, which none of us wants to deal with, or go into the service, what was that like, man? Because I know that wasn't a choice that you made, like, hey, this is where I'm going. So what was it like as far as adjusting to that?
It wasn't. I mean, it wasn't anything. It wasn't anything. I mean, I don't, it was an easy choice. First of all, it wasn't even a choice. It was not. It's not. That's not a choice, man. Because you know what happens when your name gets put into the system. You're in the system, bro.
Yeah,
You just became the system.
yeah,
And I had a really good judge that I had seen twice before, and I had a really, really. I mean, he used to tell me all the time, I see something in you, and he used to tell me, and then that's when he told me. He said, listen, you come back after your 18th birthday and tell me what you've decided, because you need to serve for this. Tell me how you want to serve it, but I can tell you, and you don't want to be in the system.
yeah. So you having that mind state kind of made it to where it wasn't an easy or hard choice. From what you're telling me, it was just the choice.
That's just what needed to happen next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now, man, digging into the books, people, and then of course, man, this is brought to you by Welcome to the Logic Lounge. Don't forget about the homie Block Legend 7. Shouts out to that, man. I want to dig into the books, man. Now, there's one that I don't have, right? And that's the first one I want to speak of. The one that releases that you add to in November, correct? And this is
Every year.
for your wife.
Yes, every year.
So give me a
Eh,
backstory, man.
well, okay, so it was coming up on her birthday last year, and no, 2 years ago, sorry. And I, what do you get? What do you know? Who has who has poems written about them? But who's got a book of poems written about them? And I'm not writing a book of poems about her for anybody but her. So the publication was released on November 20th, which is her birthday, and then I took it off. I ordered copies. I add to it, and on November 20th, I release it every year to order another copy and just see how the book builds and builds and builds. But what poems, what poetry I write, about her that year goes into that book. And it's all released poetry already, but it's a collection of poems about her. And the title of the book is A Collection of Poems About Her,
I had to bring that up first, man, because when looking and I saw that, excuse me, it just jumped out at me. And of course I was like, oh man, I can't get to it. And when you told me that story, I said I absolutely have to have them say that,
Yeah.
because that's a light that needs to be shined, brother. We living in some crazy times, you know this, you know what I mean? So when I heard that and I knew the story behind that, I knew that would make anybody feel good, dude. That's some dope shit. That's dope. You know
Thanks,
what I
man.
mean? Hands down,
Thanks.
brother. No, hands man.
Thanks.
Thank you
Yeah.
for showing that that's still out here, man. That's something I speak about with my brother Block. You know what I mean? He does show the natural love, and that's what I try to do. You said that about me, and that's a good feeling because that's the mission.
Uh,
Some of us know what it's like not to have any type of love. You know what I mean? Not saying completely, but it's more negative than positive, brother. So I wanted to shine light to that. Definitely
Bueno.
wanted to shine light to that. So, of course, I see this guy is the third book. So, and is this guy number four?
That's number 4/number 5.
Number four slash number five. So this guy must be two.
That's number 2.
Okay, so one is the one I don't have. I want to do them in order. It's on its way. Uh, Tell me about that book, man, so before we break these guys down. The
Yeah.
very first one that
All
Amazon,
right.
gotta love them.
So the thing is I had enough. I have enough material to publish 2 books. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to go with 2 books. I wanted to go with one published by Brian Stout, which is dedicated to my family, and it contains. It doesn't contain cuss words. It's an inspirational piece. I mean it's filled with a lot of uplifting love, a lot of things to my family, a lot of things to everybody. And then so I had enough for my conspiracy pieces or my anger pieces or my aggressive pieces, which I call, that's the lizard evolution right there, and so I went ahead and did that. And that was the liquid evolution into the lizard revolution, yeah, and then the first piece was scattered refractions, remnants from a fractured soul, which was all my heartfelt pieces. And if you notice on the pieces by the Liquid Lizard, there's always an explicit warning label. So I always make sure that it's in the cover.
Okay. Oh, inside of
No,
it?
no, you see it on the front. You should see it right on the front. It should
Huh.
say explicit content in the photo. Let me see.
That's messed up, man. I bet not have the soft version.
No, you don't. But where's the really?
Yeah. Now, is it inside this guy?
No,
Because
huh?
that's
It
dope.
should be in the very front. No, it's not.
Huh?
Okay.
Either one of these guys. They letting us have it, man. This
No.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's now that one is another that one is another spiritual. That one's by Brian Stout. That one's
Okay.
a lot of heartfelt.
Yeah.
inspirational stuff. It's the greatest truth that I've ever known, and the greatest truth that I have ever known, and that's based on on the first poem that's in there, which is the greatest truth that I have ever known. Yeah.
Okay. And as I say, guys, you guys can definitely reach out to Amazon, man, and get these bad fellas. I can't wait to dig into them. I just got them freshly, so I didn't get to dig in like I wanted to, but he already knows. I'm definitely gonna dig into that. So now, brother, man, going back to the lovely book, man, that you always edit every year, which is awesome. I'd like to speak how we got there because my understanding is at one point, you know what I mean, the Liquid Lizard, even as you describe him, was almost not here to where I could speak to him from, you know what I mean, your past and things that you were going through, like the aggression that you shared with me, man. So what is the story actually of you meeting your wife and being able to calm down to be here with us right now, how you are?
Wow. All right. So I'm a very insightful person. I get a lot of I get a lot of help from the energy around me.
Yes.
Um, I've the longest relationship I've ever had in my life was about 3.5 months long, and I that was not a monogamous relationship for me. It was, I never, uh, I don't believe in love. I don't, that life is not for me. Whatever is whatever.
Right.
Um, so I went and I've done hospitality all throughout my life as one of my side jobs as a pickup, and so I went into a place called Houlihan's off of in Kissimmee, and it's a really really happening place. A lot of money going around there and whatnot. Went into a place called Houlihan's and asked for a job and was interviewed by her. She was the manager, and so she said you're hired. And about 3 weeks later, I just kind of started following her around, and I was like, "Hey, you and I are gonna get together, right?" And she's like, get out of here. And for about 4 months, I mean, 4 months continuously, I just was like, you don't understand. Like we're gonna be together.
Right.
And she's like, and so finally it got down to it. We went to the Cheesecake Factory. She was the manager. Everybody is receiving their award for whatever, and it's, everybody gets a chance to stand and say what they want. And so she stands and she says, well, okay, that's sort of a private. I'll tell you exactly how that goes. But anyway, after that dinner, she's like, you want to come hang out with me and a friend, and no, hey, so that's my wife right there.
Cute.
Tell on cue too, right?
No, cute.
So we worked together for a while, and then she's I was like, yeah, we're gonna get together, and she said, I don't date my employees.
Right.
I said, really? I said, all right. So I called one of my friends that just became a manager of Carrabba's, and I was like, hey, you got any positions open? She's like, for you? Hell yeah, come on, So then I came into the meeting and I was like, hey, I want to let everybody know that I quit. I'm leaving. I need my shift covered tonight. And the rest is history. I wasn't an employee anymore.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew what to bring out. I knew it.
I can bring food anywhere.
Right.
And and you know what? And we just, I mean, we got, it's the first woman I've ever been loyal to. It's the first, it was just something about, and I told her for the longest time, I was like, we're supposed to be together. You know,
I had to bring that out, man. I knew it was something to that, man. So Understand, brother, it's a method to my madness. Like, and I just knew it was something to that. And that, again, that that is what needs to be heard. I feel like when it comes to knowing the person behind what we know you from. You know what I mean? This is what people know. They don't know this. So
Right.
that's beautiful, brother. That is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah,
So
it is, man. She saved my life, man. She saved my life. And I feel like okay, because you know where I was heading. I was heading towards one or two places, bro. I mean, that's not,
yeah,
and she kind of gave me an ultimatum, but it wasn't really an ultimatum that I really had to think about. I just walked away from shit, bro. I just walked away from everything. I
yeah,
walked away from everything. My pet snake, I left him. I left everything in my old apartment. I walked away from that
yeah,
whole entire life, and there was a lot of pieces me in boxes, a lot of photographs, but I got all that right here.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
deep to leave it all, brother. Just for that. That is what's up, man. And now I want to dig. And of course, I always forget this, man. For those just coming in, thank you. Welcome to the Logic Lounge with your boy Fleezy Jones. Episode 11 brought to you by Block Legend 7, man. I am your boy Fleezy Jones speaking with the awesome, mysterious, and just wicked Liquid Lizard. Now, brother, before we get, because I'm definitely going to give you nice time to give me what you want to share. I understand we're getting a exclusive release here tonight, and I'm excited for that. But, brother, when doing homework, I was telling the people at the beginning before I pulled you up, when you disappeared after the open mic on my show, right? I was worried like hell, like man, what's going on, man? This dude just because you search, I'm thinking maybe something happened, and they got the blank face up, and I'm like, okay, where's this dude at? Maybe a week or so passes, and then you started commenting on my YouTube. So whole time I didn't know you were cooking, man. Can I please get the story behind that? What was that? And just for those who not following, when this man did his piece on my show, this was like the second show. When he disappeared from the live, he disappeared. Period. Inactive account, all that. Couldn't find him. Couldn't pay nobody to find him. So what was that, man? What was the mix of that?
So there's some things that were going on in my life. I didn't really have a lot of time to invest in Instagram, and things need to be taken care of. Um, you have to step away, and I knew that I was coming to a point when I needed to put it down so that I could take care of these things that needed to be taken care of. So that piece was actually, it was a military piece, and it was and at the end is my words are while I am neither here nor there, I am everywhere, but just like that, I disappear.
And he
And
literally did.
I closed out, and I continued with the comments for the rest. Eric McKellum was et cetera, come on next, and he did great, whatever. And then I thought, you know what? That's it.
Disappearing.
And I just hit delete Instagram account, and I disappeared. I mean, no better time than when I say I'm gonna disappear,
Yeah.
and I disappeared. The Glimmer Man,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 I love Steven Seagal.
Yeah, that is so dope, man. How that came about, which segues me into my next question, like, because now with your page back, right? I notice you are definitely letting some things be known on your page now, and I noticed that the new book that's on its way, I believe, Man from Monsters, is
A
it?
Man from Monsters.
Yeah, and it has the basically the What is the thing on the bottom of it, brother?
The
I know.
logo,
Hold on.
the logo for the National Center of Exploited and Missing Children. Yes, which I advocate for dearly. I've most recently been taking some courses to get me acclimated a little bit better with things. But I have done uh, a bit of cleaning house since the pandemic started, and I became aware of how many people there are right in front of us every day that just need to be stopped.
Man, that's real shit.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to talk about it, man. Like I said, I plan to have the end of the show for you, you know, the exclusive, but I wanted to know because of course I thought that you see it. You know what I mean? Plus knowing you a little better since we chat now outside of even the internet. It's like, yo, this dude is solid. And he's been through some shit. You know what I mean? That's when you know it's real. That's heartfelt. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, definitely, bro. Like, um, the couple that I see, one of them in particular, I understand that you drew him close just to expose him.
There's a
Is yeah.
There's a
Please.
few that I've drawn close. The Liquid Lizard. Okay, so the Liquid Lizard was created not originally as a poetry account, but he ended up being the poetic profile, which is on Instagram, who ended up really appreciating the community. Um, there are several there are several profiles which I've created which fit to suit whatever it is you're looking for. Um, and the Liquid Lizard likes to go and hang out in places until something dings and he sees what you're looking for. And while the Liquid Lizard is there, that profile enters the room. Somehow the Liquid Lizard disappears, you know, and that profile becomes uh, uh, being I haven't always been a good person. I when I got out of the military, I was a I was a pretty bad person. I was not a good person. Never to children, never to women, but I was a very bad person. And that being said, I know how to look for a victim, and worse than that, uh, uh, I know how to make all the measures appropriate so that I lure that victim. That being said, I know how to look for people that are looking for victims. If you look for somebody that's a victim and you pay attention to the people that are around, it's really not hard to pick up on things if you just sit back, relax, and pay attention.
Yeah.
You know, everything's in front of you. Uh, but I I have a debt which may or may, you know, if this is the only piece of heaven I get, then it's a beautiful life, man. You know, but
Yeah. That's different.
and yes, block legend. Yes, I hunt predators.
That's something deep.
Yeah.
And the reason of me even mixing this like that, just so you know, brother, first of all, thank you for even sharing with me and us and those who, you know, mess with the lounge. Do y'all see that mix? That's a different mix. This is what I mean by solid. It takes a different person to love the way they love when they never cared about love at all. And took what was once evil and switched it to I get your ass. And those who don't know, man, yo, check out Liquid Lizard's page, man. He's definitely, yo, this dude is, I'm gonna just keep it hood, man. This is our better version of Chris Hansen. And that's
Yeah.
a joke. That's me being witty like Lizard, but I'm dead ass serious. Like, this dude is exposing people who need to be exposed. It's crazy. And I just feel honored to even know, you know what I mean, brush shoulders with a person like that, because that's different, man, you know. So salute to you with that, man. Salute to you with that. But please
Thank you.
elaborate a little more about the book, man. Is this book still about like poetry, or are we looking at a different type
No,
of book with that?
it's poetry. It's a poetic story basically. You know, and it starts with a man and his in his military career. It starts with it basically building, you know, his ability to become whoever the hell he needs to be. And it's about some of the things that he deals with, you know, upon exiting the military. You know, one of my first jobs when I got out of the military was I I moved into a slumlord house, and it was the landlord was a heroin addict that sometimes would have needles sticking out of his arm and passed out in the driveway. And he was
Wow.
funny. Yeah, it was a pay by the week kind of place, you know. And it was funny though, because he would always knock on my door like, dude, I just paid you last Thursday. And okay, I forgot. You got, so whatever, you know.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah,
benefits of having a junkie landlord, whatever.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but I didn't pay him. But you know, I never, you know, I rarely paid that dude. Um, but
Wow.
yeah, I met some seedy individuals living in that position, and I slowly developed contacts, and I began. My first job really was driving girls around for an escort service, and I saw a lot of things that they did, and I put a little extra oomph into it, and so I kind of helped them develop their escort service, in that all the girls became licensed performers, adult entertainers. We would go to hotels, and I would have them check in at the front desk, right? Legal. They're there legally, you know. I carry a two-way radio. They carry a two-way radio. I walk with them up to the door. They walk into the door, collect the cash up front, hand the cash out to me. That cash goes into my pocket. Now the client knows, A, he's not going to get that cash back, and B, she has support outside. You know, and I would wait for the hour to come, and if I needed to come knock on the door. But that led me into a whole darker route where I met somebody who needed somebody to collect money for debts. He was a coke dealer. So I took that position. Um, it's a seedy world. It's a
Yeah.
very, you know, it's a dark world. But that led me down a rat hole. You know, I mean, I'm not even gonna say a rabbit hole. It was a rat hole. Um, I was a I was a very bad person. I was That's what I got paid to do,
Yeah.
uh, and and it paid well. I did I did a lot of stuff during that time, whatever. Um, and then it's just it's really crazy that just meeting my wife is just I you know I was I was determined to not live past 30. Yeah, yeah,
And you know, I'm a keyword person, so when you said the term, that's when it hit.
yeah.
Man, listen, man. Of course, yeah. I know that this, you guys make my show better every time. Like, thank you for even sharing that, brother. Like, thank you for even feeling free enough to speak on that with me. Like, I don't take stuff like that for granted, not at all. But man, with that said, man, again, we are on the Logic Lounge, brought to you by the homie Block Legend
Block
7,
legend.
man, all day, every day. Please, man, what's this? This man said he had a surprise for me. Now, for those who didn't see the dedication video this dude did for me, and all I did was the man told me to record the reveal of the books I was getting from him. All right. So when I did that, this man not only like showed me love regular, this man put me and my brother in his book, man. Shots out, man. Shots
Shout
out.
out.
Shots out to
Yeah.
everybody on here, everybody in here. Yo, if you ain't got this, yo, grab his. Yeah, you see the name, screenshot it, do that, do whatever you do. Follow my dude, man. But I heard I had a surprise coming to the line. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I need to see what you're talking about, man. Hit me with it, man. We drawing near
Oh.
the end, brother. I
All
gotta
right,
say the
let's do it.
best for last.
Let's draw to the end. Let's see if this is best for last. I'm gonna be posting this on my account later, and you've got the picture, you've got the cover for it. I don't have it on this extra device, but this is a piece that I wrote for the Logic Lounge.
Oh, hold on. I got you, brother. Just because you said that, let me go to your page real quick and pull up the man from Monsters because I know it's on here. It's on here
No,
somewhere, ain't it?
it's not on my page.
Oh, hold up. I
It's
got it.
it's on the message. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't got it. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead,
Okay, it's
my
all right.
bad.
This is titled "No Vote," and in parentheses is for each and every wrong, I will exercise your right, and it's spelled RITE, right. I can count to infinity twice in just under 7 minutes, and when there ain't no end in sight, I'll be waiting at the finish. I cast shadows beneath the moonlight before the sun begins to set. I've collected on my winnings before you've even placed your bet. I will make you want to fold before you even deal the hand. Although Jesus walked on water, I can swim on land. And I can swim across an ocean without even getting wet. I am quick to turn unkindness into a life of failed regret. The last one to fall, but the first one to stand. And where there are weapons not permitted, I am contraband. I squeeze blood from many stones with just a clench of my fist, and I can turn diamonds back to coal with just a quick flick of my wrist. I am every word that's spoken when there ain't nothing left to say. I don't waste my time climbing mountains. I just move them out of my way. When you wish to build a strong foundation, I'm every brick that you should lay. And when the cards are on the table, I am the one they're scared you'll play. My story is built on bitter truths that most would rather go untold. I'll let you think you make the calls, but then I put those calls on hold. I ain't the kind to drop no dime. I've never needed to call the cops, but I have contacts selling contracts. If the sound that jingles when it drops needs to quickly come to closure, and no one gives a damn just how it stops. I bring a roar of vicious thunder without making so much as a sound. I'm the first one in the lineup when the windup comes unwound. I am that unforgiving aftertaste when the truth is hard to swallow. And just when you've made a clear connection, I'm the dots you couldn't follow. I am the paint that stains the paper where colors ain't supposed to be, exposing truth you can't look away from, but will have wished you could unsee. I am everywhere at once, hidden in the shadows of nowhere at all. An echo of whispers behind the wall as silhouettes flicker down a cold, dim-lit hall. I am the rise with no chance of a fall. All it takes is just one crank, and I won't ever stall as I become a vivid memory, which you cannot recall. I am the sickness that cures the disease, the stent to clear any clot. I bring on the chills when a fever burns hot. I'm every idea that can't be unthought, learned from such lessons that can't be untaught. In each and every page that tells the tale of retribution, I am every detail the story forgot. And of all the problems that you've ever had, I'm the one you had best not. I feed your ego full of confidence, believing there's no storm you couldn't weather, making you unafraid of getting caught, let you think you're just too clever. But when right beneath your feet the trapdoor opens up into a pit of pure displeasure, alone and ashamed, I leave you to think how you should not have pulled on that lever. With a sliver of truth cuts down to the bone, I am the nerve that just will not sever. And just when you think I'm at the end of the rope, I become a force restraints can't tether. I watch it all crumble to pieces once it all comes together, and everything that's anything means nothing whatsoever. I'm every movement in the moment, once now becomes never. As you lie in wake from the aftermath of that storm you could not endeavor. I can be more than a handful and only a pinch, and I'll travel miles without moving an inch. For any loose screws on nut jobs, I carry the wrench. I've spent enough time with the devil to pick up his stench. I've looked him right in the eyes, and I made that bitch flinch. Even with hurricane force winds, I am the flag that won't sway, cut from a different cloth made of a fabric that just doesn't fray. In just a quick blink of an eye, I'll take forever and a day, and I'll shoot down whatever shit that you pull like pigeons made of clay. For every role that you portray, I spotlight all that you betray. I'm every reason why you stay, be that as it may. I'm every reason why you should have simply walked away, okay? When the code of human kindness is a code you disobey, all they'll ever find is another predator turned prey. Ain't got no time for excuses, and there ain't no hard feelings that need to be hashed. When it comes to subscribe, like, love, or follow, mine is the button you'll wish you'd not mashed. Time ain't about numbers they score on your gravestone, but what you've put into that dash. And I can put time in a bottle, then just toss it right into the trash. I am the line that rigs your safety that you couldn't get to clasp. I'm every idea that you could not grasp. I'm every question you never thought to ask, the direct result to every action that you had never thought to task. When the moon blocks out the sun, I'm every shadow it won't cast, and I'm every option when the time for options has done past. When you waste time with cruel intent, I will take your time real fast, and I won't waste a second giving any second thought, because second is just the first to come and last. Cosmically, subconsciously, I bend and fold reality to shape and mold the truth, which I am willing to extract, pulling tooth by tooth by tooth. I won't stop till shit gets done, and that's just being real. Your road to judgment has begun, and I don't care how that makes you feel. I am the antiquated antidotes articulated in my anecdotes, a personified, that's all she wrote. A dignified, may I take your coat? I'll push you off and watch you float down that shit creek with no paddle upon a quickly sinking boat. But honestly, it's something that I won't sugarcoat. I am the tensing anxiety, squeezing like a quote unquote hand around your throat. Don't you cry sad songs of sorrow. I won't listen to a note. For each and every wrong upon the weak you did devote, I am exercising your right by my right, in which you shall have no vote. No vote.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is how you end a fucking show.
Boom.
Likwid Lizard.
Much respect, bro.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yo, and with that said, thank you all for coming in, tuning in, sticking with me. Yo, again, this is brought to you by Block Legend 7. We finna get up out of here, man. And like I always say, living off good instinct counts. So remember, always keep your logic. We out.
Thank you, Valerie Lorraine, for setting this up.
We out.